Welcome to another tutorial about the features and possibilities with ImpressCMS. Today we'll be talking about the Textsanitizer and the plugins capability that is available to allow you to easily extend some of the options that are in the editors. First off, what are the Textsanitizer plugins? Well, they are those little buttons right here across the top to allow you to insert code snippets and quotes and email address and links. It's also formatting if you wanted to change something from regular to bold or to insert a URL. You can do that with a plugin. And which of those plugins are already installed. I've got the admin panel already open up in another tab here, so we go to Preferences is where you'll find these, and under Plugins here's what's listed. We have hidden content, various syntax highlighters, Wikipedia link creator for you to, here's a one for embedding Windows Media Player or YouTube videos. Let's just go ahead and activate the Wiki plugin and see what happens in our editor when we do that. You'll see now we've got a new button up here, and when we click on it, it says enter the wiki term you want to add. You can do that and it will create a link for you. So if we do wiki, and then we'll see down here it has this form of two brackets enclosing the word that I typed in and double brackets on the outside of it. So we're going to cancel out of there. Now, how do we add plugins? Very simply, in your web root where you'll find the plugins directory, you'll also find a Textsanitizer directory, and there you'll find the directory for each of the different plugins. And you'll notice that each has several files in it, just an index file so that nothing gets listed out when someone tries to view the folder directly, a JavaScript file, a PHP file, and a PNG file. They all share the same name. That's part of convention over configuration. Make things simple for you. Well, could be just as simple as copying that folder and pasting it back in and renaming it to a new name. We're going to create a plugin for hashtags. Lead you to search results for the enclosed terms. So we first off start by copying the folder, then renaming each of the files to match the folder name. That's one. Now the PHP file. And you'll want to come up with a new image file for that, but just to keep things simple, and during the exercise today we will just rename the current one to match. Okay, so is it as simple as all this? We just created this folder. If we go into the administration panel and look and see what plugins are available, we certainly see a new one called hashtags. If we activate that one, we're going to have some problems because we've got functions and things that are having the same name as the other one we just copied from. So let's go in and see what we need to change. First off, we're going to change just this comment to let people know what this is all about. We are going to start following a few other of our practices here and do comments for our various things. This is a link to search results. It's not going to be wiki anymore. It's going to be hashtags. This link certainly isn't going to work. We'll find out what that is in just a little bit. We don't need this comment here anymore. I need to comment this function. This will locate and replace enclosed term. Now we need to decide how we're going to identify those search terms. And we're going to use something that's pretty simple. We're going to use the following delimiters. We're going to start with a hash sign and a bracket because we may want to have multiple search terms here. So we'll do it that way. Alright, we don't need this to be wiki anymore. We need that to be hashtags. This pattern that they use to find the wiki link isn't going to work anymore. We'll look at that in just a minute. We now want hashtags as our function name, which goes here. We need to add our comment block for that, and this is going to actually build the link. Supplied text. We're going to use our other layout format. Okay, it's not wiki link anymore. It is what? Hashtags link. We don't want to open this up in a separate window. We want to put a hash sign in the wiki text, and we'll space out our connectors there like we should. Same thing there, and we're also going to make sure there's a space in front of the link. I'll tell you about that in just a little bit too. Okay, now comment here. This section of code actually adds the button and script to the editor. Alright, and not wiki, but nope, I didn't want to copy that. Okay, and kind of make these things a little bit easier to read. You see that we use the directory name as a variable here, and we'll move that around. Okay, we're good there. No changes necessary there. This is the button image. We don't want wiki here. We don't want wiki here. Now we're adding this, so it hasn't been defined. We need to make sure that this constant is defined. So I will do that right up here at the top. And if you add this in language, your language, whether it's English or Spanish or Dutch or whatever, in the global.php file, you can have this translate. Okay, and that would be this. It's our hashtags is enter the terms to tag and the line there. And if we do define this in the global.php file, we don't want any errors when that happens, so we will put a little condition here that says if defined and false, then define it. Otherwise we won't. It'll already be defined. Okay? So we were down here and this. Now we're going to separate these out. Do we need to change anything here? Put each of these parameters on a separate line, and we'll oh, look at that, Dave. Used this, but haven't used it everywhere. Okay. Spread out those connectors, and now we will also use our convention over configuration and get rid of the hard-coded name. We will put in, oops, that for the alt text, and we will also add a title attribute, because that's what actually shows the hover text in browsers like Firefox. Okay, so that creates our image, and yeah, we've got another spot here where we can eliminate all of this in favor of our variable, and the same thing here. Okay. Everything look good there? Yep, we're good. All of this was just somebody's notes beforehand. Get rid of that, clean it up a little bit. This is you can add a another class attribute, or you can define tag specific styling here. We won't be using it, so we'll just not return anything or return an empty value. Alright, so we've gone through, we've made all those changes. We're going to format the source so that it's all indented and spaced properly. We're going to, and that happens to also not line that up right. Quick look at it, everything looks fine. We've got all this stuff here. We've got so we got left is to find the link. We need to find our pattern. Everything here is good. Everything here looks good. We have changed this JavaScript function though, so we need to make sure that that gets defined properly. And we're good with that. Okay. So now let's open up our JavaScript file, and here's where that function is. Oh, I didn't copy. Okay. And in here we're going to change this to hash tags. And get rid of that. Replace all of those. Replace that. Replace this. Alright, that's all of that. Now this, the text that we use, we've already defined that over here, so again, let's just keep things simple and consistent. We put it there, and this, remember, is what comes in the pop-up, and this is going to insert this into the text. This delimiter is the wiki delimiter. We don't want that. We want our own, so we do the pound bracket, insert the text, and close it with the bracket. And this is Alright, format that, looking good. Alright, now what link do we need? We go to here, and then we go look at our URL after we hit a search. You'll see this is exactly what we're looking for here. It's going to be our root URL, our base URL, plus search.php, query equals, and action equals. Alright, so paste that in there. Now the search term, that's going to vary depending on what you put in the tag, so we're going to have that be a pass in an argument to that, a string value. We're going to properly encode that ampersand sign. Now we can't just use the root like that, so we're going to tell it to use the ICMS URL as a base URL. So we've got our URL, it's our base URL, search, and a parameter. Okay, we're good there. So now when we come down here and we pass it the text and it inserts it into here, it'll substitute this for that %s in the hashtags link, and then also put that in the link text here. So now what's left? Finding the search pattern. And we know that our tag pattern is going to be pound, bracket, words, closing bracket. It's going to be at the beginning of a line or possibly in the middle of a sentence, and there may be some various options that we encounter. What I use is the regular expression tester with the Firefox extension, and I've already got my text here with all the different possibilities of combinations of hashes and brackets, and then down here it shows me where it matches, which it's matching properly as I hoped it to. And if we break it down, our grouping is our first group is delimited by parentheses, and then what it searches for is this class of characters. So a bracket, it says encloses, this is what it's looking for. A /s is any white space. A /n is any new line, so anytime that there is a space or, this means or, a new line, that's the beginning of what we're looking for. So we have to have that at the beginning of the thing. Then we're going to follow that by a literal hash, the pound sign, and a literal bracket, right bracket, opening bracket. So these two have to be together. And then the next group here is what we want to have enclosed in the bracket, which may be a single word, maybe multiple words. We're going to allow any word character, which is alphanumeric, so it's letters and numbers. A dashes will also be allowed, and a spaces will also be allowed. There needs to be at least one or more of these characters in the group in order for it to be a valid match. Then we close off that group. So we've got 1, 2 groups. This is the actual hash tag that we're looking for, is this search item. And then we close it with a literal bracket, and we need one. We don't want any more than one, so we're going to do the question mark means don't be greedy, go to the first one and then end it, which down here when we have this works out just fine. So we take this, copy it, and we're going to paste it in here. Now we're looking good, and we use the second match, so we do that to make the second match, and we're ready to test. So we go back into our main page. We go into edit. You notice we've got a button here that says Oh, we got the wrong one activated yet. Oh, we got an error on line 68. What did we do wrong here? We missed our little connector. There we go. Refreshing the page, looking better now. Okay, we go back in, edit this, same icon, but this time you'll notice we've got our little tooltip. It says hashtags. We click on it, gives us our term here. We do search terms, press enter, and we go down, look at the bottom, which is where it's going to always insert it. It inserted it properly with the hash, the bracket, the terms, and then the closing bracket. In order for us to make sure that we get that, we put it on a new line instead of next to a character, which was where we're looking for it. And we hit submit to save it. And there we go. We've got in our text now a link marked off with the hash, and we can click on that, and it brings us to our search page. Of course, no results because we don't have any other content in here, but we are fully completed on that. Now, on our link, I want to go back in and look at something here. We did put a space in front of it. I did mention that, so we are good, and I think that's really all we need to do. Now, we would finish this off a little bit better by giving us a new graphic and possibly even creating title for this. So if we wanted to say search results for, and then we would have to go in and add the text. Actually, we don't want to do we want to do this. Let's give that a try and see what we come up with. Yep, there we go. We could separate those out even farther by enclosing them in parentheses. We'll refresh the page again, and you'll now see that in the tooltip has everything enclosed in parentheses. And that's it. We have just added a brand new tag and functionality into ImpressCMS, allowing us to now have greater flexibility and usability for our visitors and our members and anyone that's visiting our website. And it also helps you gather items together within your site, so you can easily group things and provide results to related items. Well, we hope you enjoy ImpressCMS and just love to hear more from you and how you're using it. Come visit us over at community.impresscms.org and